I've seen these guys all over Pinterest for weddings. These are the skateboard deck guest sign-ins. That's what I'm going to teach you today. You are going to need an old skateboard deck, some sanding paper, a circular saw, trace paper, and then design something on your computer that you want to put onto it. You'll need 80 grit for stripping, 150 for smoothing, and then 180 for finishing. You're also going to need a pencil, some sort of paint. You can use craft paint, clear wood finish. I got mine in a gloss, and some paintbrushes. You're going to start off by sanding down the graphic with 80 grit sandpaper. I actually had a board that I painted earlier that I just needed to sand down a little bit, so I went ahead and grabbed that one when I realized the board was green. You're going to work your way up to the 150, then to the 180. Once you are completely done sanding it off, you're going to wipe it down with a wet paper towel. For my guest sign-in, I'm actually going to use 2 boards, so I just repeated the same process to the second board, and I made sure they were similar finishes. My writing is not the best when I want to freehand it, so I designed this on the computer that says P-Rod 10, welcome to the club, since this was for his surprise party. I cut that out and I lined it up on the board where I wanted it to. I then cut out tracing paper and put it behind the printout. Since my saying needed to be spread out onto 2 boards, I needed to center it and cut it down the middle and make sure it lined up. Once I was happy where it was sitting, I took some painter's tape and just secured it down, because the next part you're going to have to trace over it with a pencil and it needs to stay still. Make sure that you traced every single word and then go ahead and peel that off, and now you have an outline that you can trace over. I decided to go with some black paint, and I totally forgot to record when I started doing the welcome to, but as you can see, all you need to do is take a thinner paintbrush and go ahead and trace over the area and let that dry. Like I said, you want that to dry completely, and don't try to wipe off the chalk or the trace outline, whatever it is. Do not try to do that because you're going to smear paint. My hand is always super shaky the first time around, so I always go back in and I fill in the spots that I'm not happy with. I let that dry, and then you can go ahead and take an eraser and erase all the chalk marks off of it, and you'll be left with that beautiful P-Rod 10, welcome to the club, or whatever saying you have there. Now that that is completely finished, you're just going to go ahead and grab your clear wood finish and spray paint those down until your heart is totally content. I did about 3 coats on mine because I didn't want people to sign it with the Sharpies and then it bleeds into the wood and then it smears and then it just looks messy. For this surprise party, I didn't record any of it, but I left out a sign that said go ahead and sign in and just tell him how proud you are of him, and it just filled up so nicely with the black Sharpies, and I absolutely love that Paul was walking through that frame. I've always seen these around Pinterest for weddings, but I wanted to do this for Paul to be a special surprise, just so he has a keepsake, but you can do this for any event you want. Thanks so much for watching, guys.